Welcome back to WLC's second episode of 88 Blue. In today's episode, we have two interviews with two of the clubs on campus, WASD and the Ultimate Frisbee Club. But first, let's also take a look at our theater department and the production they're currently doing.
I'm Jay Searson, professor of theater at WLC, and I am the director and scene designer for this production. This is my 17th year here. This would be my 30th year teaching college theater, and prior to that I taught at two different high schools for 4 and 3 years. By description, you'd say I'm a generalist, meaning I teach a number of different classes. I direct, I design, I teach playwriting, rather than having a clear area of specialty. And our current production is William Shakespeare's The Tempest. So it's always kind of been on what one might call a bucket list. And as my colleague, Professor Simon Provet, and I were choosing plays, he said, hey, what about The Tempest? And so that's why we kind of thought, oh, I had always known it, I'd always wanted to do it. We looked at kind of the student personnel we had. I mean, one of the other nice things about The Tempest is, while you might consider Prospero the main character, and he might have the most amount of lines, it's not significantly more, and there's a lot of other, what you might say secondary or their principal characters. There's not just 1 or 2 or 3 other principal characters. There are 10 other characters that have a pretty fair amount of not only stage time, but that they're integral to the story. So The Tempest offers a number of roles, and different kinds of roles, comedic roles, serious roles, roles that are primarily male. However, we do have some females playing male characters. So that's partly why. And also I think that some audience members or some people in the past have said, oh, I had to read that in high school, or I had to read that for a class. Any theater should reflect some sort of community, or speak to that community, or be part of that community. And I think that that's what partly makes live theater a bit different than film or mass media, which tries to, yes, we could certainly say there are American films, or there's this kind of film or that, but it pretty much is looking for a broad-based audience. Theater in many ways can much more address, or more directly or immediately address issues that might be of more concern to a given community. Part of that community is having an arts presence, that there are artists in that community who respond to that community, who challenge that community, who exist in it and are inspired by it. Theater artists living in that community can be part of perhaps an ongoing interchange. I mean, one of the things we try to say and look at is how arts is more than merely, here's our thing, buy it, take it, or leave it. Theater, as well as all good art, doesn't merely just advocate for an expected or correct understanding of something, but they sometimes raise the questions and provoke things. So I think that that's why it's important, just from a community in general, and certainly a community of learners. There are things that the arts, and specifically theater, can help address in that process. Not to mention just that having artists, theater artists, visual artists, musical artists, other artists, in a community makes that community whole. And that's what would make us different, for example, at WLC, is if we didn't have any arts or humanities courses or people, we would still be punching out, good biologists and good pre-med students and good nurses and good psychiatrists, but there would be a little bit of that missing voice, or missing that part of humanity that the arts and theater can bring.
Boy, the theater department sure is interesting. You know what else is interesting? Computers. Let's have our interview with WASD Vice President John Sell.
My name is John Sell. WASD stands for the Warrior Association of Software Developers, and it's a little bit of a computer pun because the keys W, A, S, and D on the computer keyboard are right next to each other. Our main goal at WASD is to create software to help out people in the community and at the college. So we offer our services creating websites, developing software for free to different groups around campus and anybody who's interested in the community. For most of the people in the club, WASD is a way to supplement the computer science program here at WLC. So it allows us to gain extra experience in actually developing software for clients. So we do it for fun, but it's also our passion and part of our education as well. WASD isn't necessarily for people who haven't ever coded before, but for those who have had a little bit of programming experience and want to further their experience and interact with peers who also enjoy making and developing software, WASD is perfect for that. WASD meets on Wednesdays every week at 7 p.m. in the basement of Generac. And the goal of the meetings is not only to get together with our peers and spend time together with those who enjoy doing the same things, but also we usually have a project that we're working on. And the meeting time is great for going over what we've accomplished in the last week in the project, figuring out what we're going to do next, as well as actually working on a project. While WASD is currently working on making the website for the WLC iGEM team, and after that, we don't have anything that we're planning on, but we'd love to hear from other people either in the community or around WLC if they have any ideas of projects that we could work on or things that they want us to help them with. We'd love to help.
Boy, John Sells sure does spend a lot of time on the computer, but you really shouldn't do that. You should spend some time playing outside. Let's go talk to the Ultimate Frisbee team and what they think.
I'm David Wilson. I'm a junior here at Wisconsin Lutheran College, and I am a longtime contributing member to the UFO Club. UFO Club is short for Ultimate Frisbee. I don't know what the O is for, but we play Frisbee, and that's about it. Ultimate Frisbee. There's actually professionals coming out, so just as our club is growing, so is the sport, so it's nice to see more people coming out to play. You know, I don't know exactly when UFO Club came about, or maybe when it landed on our campus, but legend has it that it goes all the way back to the days of Mr. Jeremy Vanderhyde, who is now a staff member here at WLC. That being said, I don't know the exact date, but I'm guessing it's a lot longer than I've been in it. Well, the usual playtime, depending on ambition, I'm a 3-game type of guy, but I have seen it be played from 6 at night until all the way till 10 o'clock. We actually bought a glow-in-the-dark Frisbee just for those situations when we want to have night Frisbee, as it's called. Mostly it's dependent on weather, but the regular time for playing is usually Friday right after classes at 3:30. Recently we had a game at 5:37 on a Tuesday though, so you always have to be looking out for the emails, which are crafted by our Vice President, Alex Schumacher, who is known for very witty and also comical emails to get us to come. I mean, if you ask me the question why they should not, there really isn't any reasons why you shouldn't join UFO. But for the reasons that they should, first of all, it's good exercise. Second of all, it's really, really fun. And third, you meet a lot of people in different grades. I'd say we're a pretty diverse club. We have people all the way from the freshman class up to seniors and alumni, like I said, that still come and play. So whenever you're coming out, you never know who's going to be there at UFO, but you always know it's going to be a good time. You know, the Frisbee Club to me personally is a lot of things. One, it's a way I get really sweaty and get some exercise done. So that helps me keep my freshman 15 to a freshman 15 and not the junior 25. Also, it's a way for me to get along with my friends. It really roasts me a lot while I play because while I am a semi-decent player, I'm kind of a big trash talker and they like to point that out and roast me back. So it's just a good time to hang out with friends and get some exercise. Fly or die. That's UFO Club.
Thanks for joining us for episode 2 of 88 Blue. Hope to see you around at episode 3.